Okay, well, hello again and welcome to those that are watching. It said, I think 3 people were, but not quite sure how reliable that is. Let me check. See. Anyway, if you are watching, thank you for joining. And you may well recognise this little spot from yesterday. This is Nolts. And we are currently on stand 6, which is the actual stand. I think last night, let's get the cursor, I think we parked over there, but seeing as there's nobody about, there was somebody, I think, an EasyJet that taxied in onto this stand. Seeing as we can go from wherever we want, we might as well go from the correct point. So, again, as usual, I've done nothing. Well, I say I've done nothing. We're not using ortho tonight because it is sunset and we won't really get much benefit from it. I have gone into the cockpit. I've changed the views because the CG has moved slightly with, what are we on now? 3.4.3. 3.40.3. So I've had to move the views. I think they just went a little bit further back, so I've just tweaked those. They should be roughly the same. The most important one is the standard pilot's view that I use. You want to try and keep that as accurate, as consistent as possible, which is the same for real aeroplanes, to be honest. The Airbus has a clever little eye viewpoint thing, and the 7.3 doesn't, which is a bit of a shame. I'm sure they could figure something out and retrofit it. So I've just started smart card. It's 1817.33. So to get the extra points we have to do at least 20 minutes. That takes us up to 37, round it up to 38, so not leaving before minutes 3:08. It's just a little points thing, and to be honest, 20 to 25, the points for 20 to 40 minutes setup, and might as well do it. I mean, it takes about 20 minutes to get set up if you're not in a rush, or I mean, even if you rush, you sort of struggle to get it done in 20 minutes. So if you are watching, please say hi and feel free to ask any questions. As always, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and then get reminded when I do come online. So, stream is looking fine. Just check the volume, make sure I've been sat here talking to myself. Good. Do give us a shout if the volume levels need tweaking, because I have tweaked them, but obviously I can't hear them. So, without further ado, let's hop into the aeroplane, which is now cold and dark, with just the front door open. So, you can open up the rest of the doors. Got to remember to do fuel and payload, so why don't we do the payload now? One thing I did notice having a watch back of the stream was I often don't think I get this big enough to show on your screen, so if you can't see, please shout in chat. I'll endeavour to zoom in and get the text a little bit bigger, because of course this is letterboxed for you guys. I will try and have a look and see what I can do about OBS for that. So payload wise, we have got 171 packs again. Yep, another sausage fest. 2329, so let's put 329 up front. And let's put 2 tons at the back. Getting a bit more of an aft CFG. Where does that put us? So, takeoff weight. So, 0 fuel weight, we're nowhere near the max. And it's relatively central actually in the envelope, so quite nice. Fuel wise, we've got what we had last night, and we will request 8814. See what we get. It does seem to have a little bit of a random component to it. Oh, hang on. What's that about? What's that? Okay. I hadn't noticed that before. Let's get the fuel on the way. So, there's a little bit of tedium done. So while it's still just about daylight, let's get the battery on. Let's get the emergency exits armed. The position is on steady, so we pop AC power on. That's probably going to be a bit bright. Let's get the dome on for later, and then let's get the IRSs aligning. They are aligning. The yaw damper can go on. Check the crossfeed valve. Bright. Dim. Set closed. Bright. Dim. Leave the pumps off for a moment. Power is set. Of course the drive is disconnected because the engine generators are not on. Cabin neutral IFEs are on. Don't need to worry about that panel. All the way down, belts can stay off. Of course, like those are normal. Ignition right. Diff pressure 0. Cabin's hidden underneath it. 4 doors open. Pumps can go on. Probes are off. They only go on before taxi. But the window heat goes on now. Stays on throughout the flight. Trim goes on. Packs to auto. APU bleed can go on early. And our cruise this evening, 340. Logo can go on. So get out 3 green, let's check. Big off config works. We can check that we've got hydraulic pressure, and we have. We'll brake to LTO, flaps up, match with the lever, and no symmetry. Down onto the radio panel, we can set that up as we like. The flood's on, lights are on. Just turn these down because they will get a little bit bright later. So, that is the initial setup. We've done our payload, we've done our fuel, and we are getting fuel. So we can have a think about our flight. The first thing I'm going to do is get into the FMC. The FMC, I tell them I'm going to request the ATIS. So, Lima, Foxtrot, Romeo, Sierra. Send, it's nice and quick. The ATIS, so it's 1800 Zulu, which was 24 minutes ago. The auto, so 1800 Zulu, automatic weather report 050. It's 9 knots. Variable between 010 and 070. So Cav OK. Temperature 12, dew point of -1. QNH 1017 and no significant change. So severe Cav OK day. Cav OK meaning no clouds below 5,000 feet or MSA, whichever is the higher. Visibility in excess of 10k is no. There's definitely something odd. No thunderstorms. So no TSCBs at any altitude. I really need to brush up on that definition, but Cav OK is good, essentially. So let's set here. 017 is not going to make much of a difference. 20 feet. And so destination elevation, that's one thing we do need to pop in. 136. So we'll call that 150. and we'll get into setting the FMC up. So I think I need to zoom this in. How's that, a bit better? So let me just set that as the view. It's a bit better, isn't it? I mean, I could get it a bit more square, but I like to be able to see both of them. So, checking the nav data, which expires today. So, during the day tomorrow, because Navigraph take a little bit of time to convert all of the data. I'm surprised they don't get it earlier from Jepson, but they take some time to convert it and they release it during the day. You should receive it early, and then it then becomes valid, and depending, I think it's depending on the authority, it's not necessarily at midnight, but anyway. Although, I mean, that doesn't really make sense, it should be midnight. You can fly in flight with it, but obviously then you've got to update it and change it, so you should get it early and be able to do that. Whereas I think us in the sim community will have to wait until tomorrow afternoon for that, but it's current as of this moment. So we are at Foxtrot Romeo Sierra. We're on stat 6. We take the GPS left and pop in the RS position. Go to the route. There's our origin. Our destination is Echo Golf Papa Hotel for Midweek Madness, which is no longer at Gatwick, but it's at Edinburgh, Ryanair 7 Delta. I'm going to try and find the easiest one to say and then just change the number so it doesn't include any runways, because that certainly helps. So that's a little bit more than I want to type in, to be honest. But if you've seen my tutorial or you've seen some of the other streams where it's a bit shorter, it is relatively easy to do. But as always, I export the route as a matter of course. So we're going to the Angers VOR, Upper November 861 to Dicro, Upper Mike 184 to Hemel, Tango 420 to Trent, Upper November 57 to Pole Hill, those are VORs, Upper November 601 to Inpip, and then into Edinburgh. I am going to pop that in now. I know we wouldn't normally, because there's no one online. We can effectively do what we want, and I'm going to, so the star is only a couple of waypoints, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm definitely going to pop that in, and then we'll think about the rest a bit further on the route, so that I don't forget later. I am going to do descent forecast now as well. So 310, 200, 100. We have got 229, 52. There's the IRS is coming alive. Got 231, 51, and 22. No, 233, 14. So not particularly strong, but that may make a bit of difference. Those two definitely will make a bit of difference. Weather forecast wise, we can pop the forecast 021. We could get the latest, but we'll have to change. We may have to change that anyway. The transition altitude in Edinburgh is 6,000. I thought it was 5, but just looked at the chart. So 6,000 with a QNH of 1021 gives us flight level 70. Whereas what this has picked up is the transition altitude where we are right now is 5,000, so it just transposes it for our arrival. It doesn't actually look it up because it's not fixed, it is variable. So we have put that in, and we can go back to our perf init because we did the route, as you can see. So next one is perf init. Now the zero fuel weight won't change, so we can select that even if we are getting fuel. We've got just under a ton in the centre tank, so we won't take off with that. But we've got 390, 910, 391, 010, so that gives us so 8730 is what we've got. We are straight 814, so we are a little bit light. And I'm just going to scribble that down, 8730 everywhere. And compared, we are 1.4 tons light. So we've got 59.1. So back to our first page, planned fuel. 15-minute taxi, which we may use about that. But we certainly didn't need 20. I've added an additional reserve of 30 minutes, which is 1.2, and we may have eaten into that somewhat, but we've certainly got more than enough for the route. So we've got, it says 8.8. Unless my maths is wrong. So, trip and taxi 4.3. Because again we are lighter than forecast. Reserves of 3, which we can round up to 3.2. Just a double reserve. Double round up to give us good buffer. So we get a nice early warning in case we get distracted. 340 is our cruise. Top of climb wind here 058. 57. The ISO deviation is 4 degrees. And we can, there's nothing else I need from the OFP. Or ready for the packs. So we can start our flight leg. 18:45 is our scheduled push. We can have a look at the charts. So there's not a lot to worry about here. So airport wise, there's a bit about noise abatement. Parking stands is the first one we want. Then we want the airport and the takeoff minimums. We have filed for the RNAV 3 November. There it is, RNAV departure, and this takes into account noise abatement as well. So it will be straight ahead to 540 on runway heading 028, and then a right turn. Track 028 to 540, then turn right 097. Track, not heading, track to Velud, and then direct to Angers. So the airport elevation is 90. That's literally 90 feet. So minimum flap 1090. I've got it then. There it is, and you can see the initial climb is 5,000. I'm just going to check that no one is online. No one's online, so we are self-clearing for this one. Looking at the airport chart, as you can see, 028 is the runway heading. So we will set that. It's going to be 039 inbound. To the Angers VOR 113. Or we have a think. Would we be better off if we are flying that? Let's have knots 1555 is fine. We want 113.0, and we'll leave the ILS. That saves me just checking the chart, but 1099. We leave the ILS on just in case we need to make a return. So it's going to be actually 028. Yes, it is runway heading. But we're going to go 097. Now we're not going to follow this track, it's just there to remind me. And then 039 inbound. So 540 and then turn, which is great. So takeoff performance. It's going to be runway 03. We're forecast to be slightly heavy. So flap 5, quite a big D rate tonight. So runway 03. And having a look, this is giving us 2810. Now there is an intersection. So let me just bring that chart up. Oh, that's not working, I'm on the wrong window, right. So looking at the takeoff minimum, there is an intersection here at Bravo, and it should tell us somewhere here. Takeoff, 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 takeoff 03, landing 2, takeoff position, and touchdown point for aircraft up to 5.6 tons. 2050, I think we can actually take 2050, but I'm going to guess that they don't want us to, they want us to go down here. So, we won't do an intersection takeoff, even though I think we could. So 2810 is 22k plus 50. It's flap 5, dry runway. Gives us an M1 of 89.6, so 22k plus 50. 86.9, 87.3, that's just the APU bleed. Demand difference. So flap 5. Now the wind was 050 at 9. We are going to have a thrust reduction at 1000 and accelerate at 1500. So trip 5.5. So I've got 147, 148, and I think that's because we're forecasting heavy. Forecasting 2 tons heavier for takeoff. So we will go with the lower values because I haven't calculated for the takeoff is 69.1, and we are already much lighter than that. So we'll take those. 146. And we'll put the flight directors on. So let's get the pack sat down, get the APU on.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see the seatbelts lights flash on and off. We've got an indication for you to actually make sure that your seatbelt is securely fastened and ready for departure.
So we will drive away all the ground handling. Let me zip out, so if we get a wiggle on, this will be quite nice. Departure. So, just waiting on the APU. Let's get...
Run to cockpit, please show me where you want to go.
I think we'd end up with a push something like that.
Run to cockpit, tow is driving up.
So we will get stairs up, door shut. And we are ready and rearing. I suppose actually that has worked out quite well by accident more than anything. So, oh, I can see the chat. Oh, it's got X-Pilot up. Smart cars is running.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
So you can see it takes a little bit of time to get connected. What I can do like about explain is you get the lighting effects.
Now connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
So he's ready. Have a look at where we are. On traffic. Ryanair 7 Delta, push and start, stand 6. So we have self-cleared, transponder on, beacon on.
Should be pushing back the air number, the fuel moments, make sure PC belts are securely fastened. If you're still using a force, we would appreciate if you slowly make sure to switch them. You will be taking a fantastic curve throughout the short journey. Yours will meant before the departure would appreciate your full attention as the safety is paramount here. Thank you guys.
Okay, that's the cabin shut up. So, pushing back
Starting
4-3.
push back and you may start engines.
It's not the longest of pushes. It do is set the trim. Should have done that while I thought about it. So we can get the packs off. Start engine number 2. So initially we're watching, make sure the N2 starts to rise, and then looking for oil pressure, which is there. 25% fuel goes on. Watch the EGT. It's got a lower limit on start. So if it starts to creep up towards that, you knock it off. Now, have I got that wrong? No, I thought it was meant to be, maybe it's 500. I'm going to have to double check. I thought it was, if it was less than 1,000 kilos, but maybe it's 1,000 pounds. So, before we go, we'll pop the centre tank, the centre pumps on. So you see that was a little bit early, but the engine is stable.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Brake set. Start engine number 1.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Okay, I'm watching for the oil pressure. 25% into fuel on. And you can see the fuel flow increase. So just sat idling, the engines will use 600 kilos of fuel an hour. I did say I was going to look and see what the APU used, but I forgot. I think it's between 100 and 300 kilos.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time on Have Safe Flight.
So he's disconnecting. One thing I didn't do is turn off the A pumps, but it doesn't really matter because that's what the pin is for. But I'll that's what Ryanair do. So 2, 4, 6 and 3 all stable. Might as well wait to see the pin. There it is. Run through the flow. So flap 5. Okay, that's what we have. So flight control check, full forward, full aft, full left, full right, full left rudder, full right rudder. 5.5 trim, 5.5 set. Blank below, do you check the recall before taxi? Checklist, generators on, APU off, star switches continuous, propeats on, anti-ice not required, cruise set, packs auto, leads on, ISO's auto, flap 5 green light, trim 5 required, correction 5.5 required, 5.5 set, flight controls checked, recall has been checked, we are ready to taxi. So let's have a look at the taxi chart. We are going to taxi forward, Romeo Delta, Romeo 321 and holding point Alpha. Not traffic Ryanair 7 Delta, taxiing holding point Alpha runway 03 via Romeo Delta, Romeo 3, Romeo 2 and Romeo 1. Hello Rick, glad you could join. So self-cleared. Just sorting my OFP out. We have self-cleared, so lights can all go on. We're clear to the left, we're clear to the right. There's nobody about. Brakes off. Config check. A little bit of power to keep us going. And we'll go down to the end and turn left. So scheduled departure is bang on 1900. Probably won't take that long. Might be 5 minutes early. Scheduled arrival at Edinburgh is 2040. Hopefully that'll be nice and busy. A little bit quick on the pan. You see the ground textures are a little bit better without the ortho. So left, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie. Well, we are doing a left. Sky is not looking too bad. I know people use X-Vision and stuff to try and get it a bit better, but it feels like it's a little bit uphill. Quite a bit of power to keep us going. So we're going to go all the way down to the end. As I said, we could have done the intersection takeoff, but as it looks from the chart, I don't think they really want you to do that. So, might speak to Euro West on the way up, once we get above flight level 245. So, to save time, get us ready. We'll arm LNAV, arm the auto throttle. Weather radar comes on. Terrain on the FO's side. So straight line speed limit is 30 knots. just going to look at VATSIM map, see if there's anyone nearby. I don't think there is. So obviously we're still going to announce, here's the intersection, but we're not going to take it. So let's get cabin secured, get all our lights on.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
There you go, look, don't forget to do it this time. So it's a bit of a tight turn down here. It's not massively tight, but it is a right angle. It's a 90-degree turn, so we will have to slow down. VDM, have you been looking at the charts for this place, Rick? VDM. So the ILS is the equipment that we talked about the other time. I'm just trying to think what VDM is. We just slow the aeroplane down. On traffic, Ryanair 7 Delta, lining up, taking off at runway 03, Azure's 3 November departure. So VDM. I've been looking at BPTs today at Nice, and there is one here actually. So I think you might be talking about VOR. So we can talk about that in flight actually. But essentially a VOR is a station, and we've got the not VOR tuned here that just broadcasts 1 degree radials, and you see I've set it to 039.
Approaching 03.
And that enables you to fly along a 1 degree track, or at least a 1 degree radial. But anyway, let's get going and we'll talk about that on the way.
On runway
Ooh, managed to overshoot
03.
that quite a bit. So we got 3890, 3900 and 800 kilos of fuel. That's not quite 40%, let's get 40%. It's 1854. Power, toga, time. So we are 6 minutes early, let's hope it stays that way. So throttles are set.
80 knots.
Relax the forward pressure, throttle held. So it's a pretty long roll with reduced power.
V1, rotate.
So there we are, smoothly up to 10 degrees. Through
Positive
the
brake.
dead band, gear up. To the flight directors, we are looking for 540.
400.
There is 540, so we should actually turn at that point. I'm surprised that our nav took so long to figure that out now. I think I should have
1000.
bugged up there, so I'm going to do it myself. Seems like a little bit of a tight turn. And we want to track 039. So let's see what the aeroplane does. Command A. And we're at 2,000 feet, so let's bug the aeroplane up. The aeroplane is pitching down. Flap. Okay, we've got a good trend vector there, flap 1. Seems like a bit of a sharp intercept. Seems like we went a long way round to get onto this course. But it seems to be flying it right. Flap 1, flap up. So let's see if we do track 039. We should do. I know what we're talking about. 097 inbound. 039 that way. And just VOR has come up. 097-ish. Anyway, let's give ourselves something a little bit higher, like for 100. Set. Water brake off, flaps up, no lights. Let's go 220. Let's go 250 actually, it's not that tight a turn. Gear up and off. Taxi lights off. Start switches auto. Pre-released. 6 pumps. Cabin is just about starting to pressurise, I think. Yep. Wrinkles checked. And we are on our way. So if we have a look at the map for that. It's not bad. Compared to on the chart. Not bad at all. I think it was a bit steeper than that to get round and in, but did the job. So once we get in the cruiser, we can pull some charts up and we can have a look at VORs. I'll talk about VORs themselves. And yeah, we'll have a look. Talk about what they are, what they do, how you used to use them, and how you can use them. Okay, there is us. Overhead Velod, we should be left 039 to Angers. The Angers VOR is here. So if we didn't have the FMC, we would want to get this, the nav1 pointer pointing towards 039. You see it's going to start creeping round because the turn has started early to intercept it. So the wind will be slightly from the right. So let's try 040. So there are no restrictions on this SID, so if we go to VNAV, shouldn't be a problem.
1,000 to go.
Let's go VNAV 340. Set once, set twice, 3 times, passing 100. Airplane's bugged up, all the lights go off. 6 pumps checked, 10 check, 3 full set. Cabin pressure diff pressure is 4.2. Cabin out is about 1,000 and climbing. Not bumpy, packs can go. Checked. Post cruise done. So, VORs. Just trying to think of a good way to talk about VORs. So here we are heading towards a VOR, and you see this is the Angers VOR. It's a radio station on the ground that has a rotating radio emitter in the centre. It rotates round and it pulses out a radial every 1 degree, so this is radial 219, and it emits a time signal so that the receiver that takes the VOR will know that that is the radial. So we are on the reciprocal at the moment. We are heading 039 degrees inbound, and that's a track to the VOR. Along radial 219, and so if I change this, that's interesting that it doesn't show. At the moment that is just directly pointing feeling it might need DME, but you can see it on this one. That shows the VOR just down there, you can just see it. And if you rotate this round, that gives you the track from it. I didn't realise you needed DME for that, but if you wanted to fly course 039 to this VOR, which we're not quite doing, but I think the magnetic variation might be out by a little bit, you want to get that pointer on 039. We are, by the looks of things, heading towards it, so I can only assume that it is MagVAR. There's a bit of a difference there. And so the VOR was, I think they were developed in sort of like the 50s and 60s. They used to be along airways, and you tune them up and you just fly towards them. If you use vRYR, Command A will use the left-hand side, and that's this one. So we are set to the Angels VOR here. If I now fly vRYR, the aeroplane will fly 039, so it's going to intercept the VOR. See, that was just offset slightly there. It's going to intercept that, and it's going to bring us over to the left. We're not going to do that anymore because I think I've just been told to contact someone. But that is how you used to navigate before the days of moving maps, etc. You can use them on landing, and they are effectively then very similar to the ILS, except you don't get the glide slope. You'd have to create it. So I'm just going to check in with this controller, 13525, and I'll have to think about your next question, Rick. There's probably a poor explanation of VORs, but we can have a look at a chart and talk about the differences between ILS and VORs on the approach. So let's get ready to write something down. Control West, good evening Ryanair 7 Delta, passing flight level 200, climbing flight level 340, Angers 3 November. Wrong way round, but never mind. Oh, wrong frequency, 13525.
Airport 160
You're Control West, good evening Ryanair 7 Delta, 737-800, Angers 3 November, passing flight level 210, climbing flight level 340.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Central 0636.
Squawk 0636, Ryanair 7 Delta. Wrong window.
Air Control, good evening, Control 5 Hotel Charlie with you, flight level 320 inbound. 5 Hotel Charlie, yes. Yes, Joe City, Control 17, Albert Jones.
So, comes.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Golf 641. Terminal 0641 for Albert Paper. 1600, requesting direct fan. Who's that? Callsign. Airport 1600. Airport 1600, fly direct. I cannot see that much, that's not very long, but this flight will be open. Flight to West, Airport 1600. Ryanair takes up first at Barcelona 2665.
So I think, Rick, I would say the most important thing on VATSIM is, aside from knowing the phonetic alphabet, radio discipline is quite important, and that's come up in history many times, like the Tenerife Air disaster. Now, obviously nobody's going to die. Being able to fly the aeroplane helps, and as we've talked about before, you need to do with the automation or by hand flying whatever you are asked of, and there's more than usually in this aeroplane there is more than one way of achieving something. So as you saw the other night with the descent, there's 3 ways we can descend the aeroplane. We can use VNAV, that requires some programming, or we can go into something a bit more manual like level change or vertical speed, depending on what we're asked for. Combining that with other things in 3 dimensions like getting to a place. So I would say it's quite important to get familiar with flying the aeroplane and being able to do what you're being asked. But you know, I mean, when you're given simple headings to fly, you should be able to do that. But I think my personal bugbear, the thing that I find quite important, is good radio discipline. Getting your call sign in the right place. If they call you, your call sign's at the front. If you're responding, it goes at the end. Those sort of things make it clearer. But radio discipline, certainly among pilots, is not fantastic always. Among the controllers, it's usually very good. But just make sure that you're familiar with the sort of things that you might be asked. Things that can be quite complicated, especially if English is not your first language. Conditional line-up clearances, reading things back. Just have a learn of what's mandatory and what's information. And the country in which you live will have a radio manual for how to use the radio. Have a good read of that, is what I would say. I've just realised I didn't do enough 10 check.
Zero Control A, very good. Evening, France 71 Whiskey Mike with you, passing level 270 for 350, inbound Guitar.
France 71 Whiskey Mike, that's got code 0647.
0647, 71 Whiskey Mike.
So we are on our way. It's a long old leg to Dickrow. COTEM is the FIR boundary. So that was probably a bit of a woolly politician's type answer, and from your own perspective it's probably most important before you go on VATSIM to really be able to fly what you may be expected. On VATSIM is mostly ILS approaches, but you'll be expected to fly a SID, a star. You'll be able to be expected to fly radar headings. You'll be expected to be able to go around if you need to, or are instructed to. Climbs, descents, those sort of things, you can do them all manually. If you're told to go direct to a waypoint, you need to know how to do that in the FMC. You need to have an understanding. Final 10 check. Okay, it's still climbing. 5.5, diff pressure is good. Cruise set.
West Control, good day, Pullman 947, Papa Steady, level 0.88.
If you were flying this departure, for instance, and you were departing like this, and then you were cleared direct to Angers VOR, you'd need to know how to do that. And you need the charts as well, so you can identify these places. There's one of my streams in Amsterdam where one of the controllers gets very irate with somebody who is not quite sure of what they're doing, and there's a bit of confusion, so I can probably dig that one out for you, and I think it's worth a watch, just to try and identify their errors. I hope that sort of answered the question. Sorry, there's a radio chat going on in text.
Airfloat 1600 contact. No, not yet. After this line, I'll transfer you to London.
The VATSIM, London, sorry.
Yeah, you can start.
And after VATSIM, we can contact Edinburgh.
No, I'll tell you when to contact, don't worry.
Alright, thanks.
1,000 to go.
131, that's 1.
Yeah, just process 1311, bye-bye.
311, bye-bye.
And Carlos to my go.
You come on, stay for me.
Oh, you stay with me.
It's a bit
Airport
of,
434, microcutting for the descent.
434 Mike, you don't want to connect.
Thank you very much, have a good day, sir.
Zero control 1, 039, flight level 340. North Central 7039, identify an engine on level 2, like 2, climb 27.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
An engine on level, climb 27. And we'll climb. North Central 7039, climb level 35, sure.
so if you were asked that question, Rick,
Airport 1600, contact London.
if you were at 3-4 and he said he wanted you on an odd flight level, whether you want to climb or descend, in this instance our optimum is slightly higher than this. We're only at 3-4 because of the wind. We could actually climb to 3-6, which is the correct level, but you'd want to look at that to make that decision.
163, contact Madrid 13375.
Your control was good evening, easy 7 hours, control climb through flight level 226 and flight level 330.
79, waiting departure, climb level 370.
Climb flight level 370, easy 7 hours, whiskey Foxtrot.
So one of the good things with VATSIM is if you just listen to everyone else's transmissions and think about what their response should be.
Request to leave the cockpit for 3 minutes.
No problem.
Thank you.
About 99 report.
His is a bit non-standard. And so that crackling is just the VHF distance being modelled in the VATSIM codec, which does happen in real life as well. So because it is obviously done online, you could hear perfectly, but it simulates that sort of reception interference.
Yes, 008. I'm right.
I have no idea what that's meant to be down there. Is that meant to be fog? Definitely nothing I'm doing, is it? All the lights are correct. Or is it? What is that? Is that the moon? Weird.
Good evening, it's Airport School 12, 7 Hotel, flight level 360 direct to Gunuk.
Airport 127 Hotel, identified level 360.
Coming.
The other thing. Not 1032, it was a mistake. I didn't want to send this contact. We don't want to use
It's a bit mean. Oh, it's going to give me a headache. So,
Okay, guys, one time. That was like 3 seconds. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't get it. Weird.
Code 0652.
maybe it is the lighting from the moon shining through the earth. Maybe it's something to do with it. No, it's default terrain, so it's still there, isn't it? Odd. It's not the sun, is it? Am I looking west? I'm looking west. Weird. Anyway, we know that we are going in PIP. Not many arrivals into Edinburgh. no nav aids apart from
Yeah, Thursday is
the Edinburgh NDB non-directional beacon. Edin NDB. So 341 we can plumb in. 341.
Air Patrol, good evening, KLM 1315, make sure flight about 310.
1315, identified.
So I'll have DME or Global Navigation Satellite System arrivals. You can see there.
Dead 81 with Charlie, identified.
If VATSIM used the real world frequencies, you'd be able to tune up the ATIS ready just from the chart. We know it's 136 already.
Yeah.
And we may actually get a hold at Tartan, so
Yeah, the 008, yeah, our navigation then.
you can see there's quite a lot of information there. If you're planning the standard
Royal
arrival,
Aurora, gate 33, Madrid 13375.
if you're planning that arrival, you expect to be at 70, flight level 70 there. But if you get given the hold, it could be between, the max hold is flight level 140, the minimum hold altitude is flight level 70. Slower than 230 knots. And this hold is a little bit unique. It's not massively unique, but it is defined, the outbound leg is defined by a distance. So if you were to do that hold, you would put Tartan in, it would be 015 left hand, and then the leg distance would be 3.5 nautical miles. It's normally a 1 minute standard rate turn, followed by a 1 minute leg, followed by a 1 minute standard rate turn, followed by a 1 minute leg, which gives a 4 minute hold as a standard hold. But this one, because it's got that information, you know that it's done on distance.
Airport 530 on the identified.
And if we need to put that in, you can see that that information for a hold, why don't we do it? I can always take it out. Let's put Tartan in as a hold. So you can see at the moment 007, which is the heading that we're coming in, but that's not the hold. We want 015. L for left hand. That's changed. It's not a leg time. It's not a 1.5 minute leg. It's a 3.5 mile leg. Target speed 230. Now that should be 230 below. I tell you what, you can't change that on this page. Let's pop that in, and from the legs you'll now see that once we get to Tartan there is now a hold. We can put 230 B, and we can change it on that page. And now it is in our hold, and the aeroplane will now hold at Tartan if we get there and don't tell it otherwise. So like I say, if you were going to go onto VATSIM, you need to know how to do that, because if you were told,
Yeah, the 008 contact Madrid 13375.
if you were told to hold at INREV 339 left hand standard hold, then you'd need to know how to pop that in. And you can see you can do it quite quickly and easily. So that pretty much determines our arrival, so we're not too fussed about the approach yet. So we're already past Jersey. Heading over to Cherbourg. No, can't. Cherbourg is here.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, Cherbourg to our left. And as we said, Cotem is the FIR boundary, so we'll be handing over to London at that point. And if we look on the progress page, once it jumps up, it patties the next one, it will tell us our ETA. I don't think there's another way that you can get up the ETA at every point. Yeah, it sounds reasonable, Rick. You wouldn't think speaking something that you've done for many years of your life would be that much. which would be that difficult. But it really does add an extra dimension to something that's already complicated, because you've got to think about what people are saying, what they want you to do. What you can do is have a look at, there's got to be some radio, like how to learn radio BPL level tutorials on YouTube that can probably do radio a lot better than I can. And you can quite happily cheat and make a laminated bit of paper with what you need to say when. So your initial IFR call, who you are, how high you are, and where you're going to is an easy one. You know, so if we were going to call up, we would say who they are, who we are. We're at 340 and we're going to a patty, so you would say Eurocontrol, Rhino 7 Delta, flight level 340, patty, and you know, some people will say inbound, some I only ever say direct if I'm going direct somewhere, but try and make it sharp, snappy, and get out all the unnecessary words. Nobody really ever says Roger that. It's just either Roger, Wilco. One important radio difference is the difference between when saying yes and no. Negative is always said as the full word, negative, and the positive, affirmative, is always said on the radio as affirm. And there is a distinct difference there because they end in the same route. You don't want to get them confused. So a few simple tips like that.
Yes, Scandinavia 9231 for 616.
Yeah, once.
Liner 7 Delta, contact London 12942 behind.
London 129.42, thanks for the service, have a great night, Rhino 7 Delta. So yeah, I think I would agree with that. Once you are experienced, you can pretty much figure out what they want you to do, what they're going to say.
On this frequency, nearly.
Affirm.
Is the controller AFK?
Say again?
Is the controller AFK?
Don't know, just tuned in.
Okay, I'll contact 121.1. No, try to find out.
Roger.
No, he's not AFK.
So 12945, who are we going to be passed over to next? 271. Yeah, that sounds about right, 1271. So the difficulty with VATSIM is trying to figure out who to speak to. Yes, sir.
320 degrees and heading, just 5190, Canada 121 heavy.
Easy 17, Golf Alpha to South flight level 80. Descent flight level 80, Easy 17 Golf Alpha.
And a good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta, flight level 340, Philip.
Ryanair 7 Delta, potential minute 1 echo arrival.
Minute 1 echo, thanks, Ryanair 7 Delta. So, don't know what just went on there, what happened there. So my frame rate dropping. So, our arrival, minute 1 echo, good. So, he's already given that to us.
Over to Gatland Selector 126.25, thank you, Easy 17 Golf Alpha. Attention, this is the guard police. The German guard police is coming for you. We have your phone number, we will call you.
That's on 1215. Okay, fun. Anyway, let's... can't get the ATIS yet, which is a shame, because we could plumb it in. So we'll just leave box 2 off of 1215. So, not a lot to do. We need to know the weather to get the runway. We can pretty much work it out, like I said last time. Free traffic AI. Now, I think there is something. I think you can get like world traffic, and it puts live traffic in. So there's aeroplanes everywhere. But because you're
London Control, Air Channel 121 Heavy. Is there a reason for the vectors?
Canada 121 A is to avoid landborne. If you can't pick up landborne, and it's the agreement between me and the next controller.
Ah, okay, so, okay, that's fine. Air Channel 121 Heavy, thank you.
yeah, there's one that puts real stuff in, so it'd be quite quiet at the moment, but normally if it fills it. But I haven't used it. See if I can find it. World traffic 3, I think I bought that and then I just went on VATSIM, so I don't use it. It's called live traffic. One thing I would say is jump on the forums here. Jump on those forums, get registered. There's a Zibo board which is really good, and yeah, there's loads of good stuff on the forums. Oh, you must already be on there. But have a look at that. Anything is better than the built-in AI traffic. And here is the south coast of England. So we've got the Isle of Wight. And then that looks like Portland and stuff. Got some real photos of there that will pop up. But pretty much the whole of the south coast. Should be able to see. There's a couple of airfields on the Isle of Wight. Maybe they don't have lighting. Anyway, Southampton's up here. No props. Yeah, that is weird, that glow. I think that is the glow of the sun. Weird. So that's Southampton Airport out there. Hotel here is Bournemouth. That's a pretty short runway. That's an interesting call sign. So we'll have to think about it. Oh, that's horribly noisy. We'll have to think about a descent soon. Get planning for it because we've only got half an hour.
127.1, and we'll tell them the heading.
So lots of bit of unnecessary chat there.
Hello, Mike Yankee Bravo, Bravo Juliet.
Mike Yankee Bravo, Bravo Juliet, control the approach message.
7,008, question flight level 70 inbound comes.
It's a bit of a weird call.
Bravo, Bravo Juliet, control hello, climb flight level 130.
Climb 130, Mike Yankee Bravo, Roger.
Show Mike Tree of Whiskey, fighting tree 20 degrees, climb flight level 150.
Select 320 degrees, climb flight 150, short line 3 Golf Whiskey.
EC27 at Yankee X-ray, flight heading 090 degrees, climb flight level 110.
090 degrees, climb 110, you need to flank expected.
Oh boy, Edinburgh is busy. So there's 3 on the approach, 1 inbound, probably another one. looks like then there's a trail of 3 in the hold, 1, 2, 3, 3 inbound to the hold, with possibly, yeah, so there's 11 inbound. Oh god, I don't think they've got anywhere to park them. It's full. Have a look on VATSIM, it's full. 48 departures and 74 arrivals. Yep, okay, that is madness. So, I've just got the ATIS.
Continue with Unicom
13135. So we'll pop that in and wait until it kicks in. If not, we'll get it from text as well.
Just a quick question, if you're still busy enough, we're routing southbound. We're going to join Bravo in a couple of miles.
Golf Delta Yankee Squawk 0361, the southern QNH 102
0361 and QNH 102 and Golf Delta Yankee, I'll give you more details in just a second.
Roger, break off uniform Quebec, route to Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, Golf uniform Quebec.
EC24 Yankee X-ray, climb flight level 290. 290, EC24 Yankee X-ray.
God, I think we're going to be the trail of a load of aeroplanes into Edinburgh. Chalet Golf. What else is there? Loads. Well, we've got half an hour holding fuel at least. He's inbound Edinburgh. He's inbound Edinburgh.
EC9, Persian Triple 93 Golf Whiskey, contact on control 127 decimal 1 with the heading line.
This will probably end up going spectacularly wrong.
Flight to Bravo Juliet, climb flight level 220.
220, my Bravo Juliet.
Let's have a look.
Golf Delta Yankee with detail.
Golf Delta Yankee, Persian message.
Golf Delta Yankee, Cessna 172, reaching late southlands. We're currently heading 030 degrees. We are 2 miles south of the Sheerness VRP. We are altitude 2,300 feet, 102 tree. And we'd request basic terms outside of controlled airspace to join full stop at Southampton.
Golf Delta Yankee, will you identify as a basic service?
Basic service, Golf Delta Yankee.
Golf Bravo Yankee, Delta Yankee, you're clear to enter the southern control zone via Sheerness VRP, nautical altitude 2,000 feet VFR.
Quick transfer the southern control zone by the Sheerness VRP, not above altitude 2,000 feet VFR, Golf Delta Yankee.
Golf Delta Yankee, correct, full VFR inside.
Not bad for a VFR call.
EC24 Yankee X-ray, resume navigation direct over. Direct over, EC24 Yankee X-ray.
So, I have had a look at the ATIS, but I'm just going to flip over the page here. I'm not going to do any of the performance calculations yet because I think we're going to get held, so I think it was good to put that hold in. What we can do is get the weather and
EC24 Yankee X-ray, climb flight level 37.
a hotel.
4370, EC24 Yankee X-ray.
Heading over Odium out to our left. Been there, Farnborough just above it here.
Golf Delta Yankee, possibly go overhead and join the, is it 05 dead side?
So 2506, 1850. So nice light winds.
Thank you. It's probably best for and easier for you as well if we join base and we can call a final contact. Thank you.
Yankee report finding number 1.
Thank you. Final number 1 contact. Thank you.
Windmill 168 Quebec, continue ahead of call 122.
So those are the stats we're going to need. Thankfully there's loads.
Ryder 77 Quebec, Kilo, confirm it is on lane 1 Juliet transition. Are you able to fly that?
No, I picked the wrong runway there. It's not 06. So I have to pull those back in to give me the right order. So let's go back. Look at the approach. It's not 06. It is NDB ILS DME 0.24. So if you've got the charts, you can have a read through those to give you some of the more information. But what we will
Ryder
need.
7 Delta, contact London Control 127.1, bye.
London 127.1, thanks for service. See you again soon, Ryder 7 Delta.
6. Chevron 24 Tango on conversion speed 290 knots.
Wow, he's not local.
290 knots for Chevron 219. American 7, contact London Control 129.425. 129.425, next up tonight. Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, turn right heading at 360 degrees. Maintain speed 250 knots. 360 speed 250 from level 200, switch to Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, climb level 280 for now. Climb 280. Speedbird 550, turn left heading at 335.
London 335, and the address is meeting at 67.
Spirit 550, Roger, Mach 67, report that to London 133.7.
So I've got London Wolf tuned.
London, hello, Shuttle 8 Whiskey, level 115, climb 140. Shuttle 8 Whiskey, London Control, low climb level 220. 220,
Good, there we are, we're starting to pick that up. On a good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta, flight level 340, Hemel.
Watch Ryanair 7 Delta, flight level 340, roger, maintain Mach decimal 67, if unidentified.
Decimal 67, we'll go Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 2504, London Control, thank you, climb flight level 190.
So there's two ways that we can do that.
Ryanair 250.
He wants us at decimal 67.
Shuttle 8 Golf, turn left heading 335. 335, shuttle 8.
So we can either modify it here and execute it. It's pretty slow. Or we could speed into vent. So there's two ways of doing that. Did he just call me? Did I miss him?
Chevron 23 Foxtrot, contact London Control 129.425.
So he's just trying to sequence us in. So still, how far is that? 160, 320 to go.
Shuttle 8 Golf, report your heading and speed to London Control 133.7. Report speed is heading to 1337, yeah.
So our final reserve fuel is 3.2.
London Control, hello, Spirit 970, true flight level 130, flight level 140. Spirit 9701, I'll call you back, first break, Chevron 24 Tango, descent flight level 150, Little Kipley.
But our actual reserve is 3. So 1500 in the tanks. At this fuel flow, we've got an hour and a half before, oh no, maybe not. So just over an hour's worth of fuel before we have to think about moving. That was impossible speed. Oh dear.
Shuttle 8 Whiskey, turn right heading to 045.
You can see how busy it is coming in.
Roger, heading 045, Shuttle 8 Whiskey. 0706, report your Mach number to London Control 133.7.
133.7, right, 06.
So the instruction there was report Mach number to London 1337. So it's worth repeating that.
42 Golf, London Control, Roger, when ready, distance flight level 200, level distance.
So just going over the top of Cranfield. Haven't been there yet. Passed over Luton, where we were a couple of nights ago. So we've gone straight over the top of London.
4 Tango, contact London 129.425.
Through here. Fog. Then short NDB.
On the ground at south end, it should be London 129.425.
129.425, thank you.
Ryder 7 Delta, turn right heading 075.
Right, heading 075, Ryder 7 Delta. So around we go.
Ready to set level 230, level red zone.
Level 230, direct red zone.
Oh, we are going on a merry dance. They're having to vector it, so instead of getting us
Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, climb level 320 on conversion, Mach decimal 67, if unable
all
to
on
fly.
our way.
320.96.
I suppose they've got quite a bit of difficulty.
Ryder 2504, contact London Control 129.425.
Bit of difficulty getting us all into the airways.
Yeah.
We could take 380 if we needed to.
Ryder 7, okay, I already gave you the turn right, Ryder 7 Delta, thank you. Beaver Niner 701, turn right, heading 025.
Heading 025,
Shuttle Niner 3 Golf Whiskey, con level 280.
I'm putting the 280, Shuttle Niner 3 Golf Whiskey.
Air Canada 121, that turn left, heading 330 degrees.
330, Canada 120 heavy.
So he's a little bit busy, otherwise I would tell him that we could accept a climb. London, just for your information, run SM Delta, we could accept a climb to flight level 380.
Ryder 7, Delta, Roger, climb level 380.
As long as it helps, run SM Delta, climb 387, correction, climb 380.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the trail spacing right now. We have to have 15 miles of trail going to Scotland, and there's quite a few of you, so we're just building the spaces as far south as we can.
Sure, well I'm pretty flexible with the altitude, so just let me know, run SM Delta.
Roger.
So, alt into vent, that will keep us at decimal 67, pop us in a climb, and as you can see, that's our optimum at this weight. It's probably not the optimum with regards to the wind, but now that we're off track and we're being vectored all over the place, and he's trying to create spacing by giving us turns. If a climb helps, it's worth offering.
335 and 360, Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, turn to left, heading at 260 degrees.
260, Shuttle 8 Foxtrot.
Oh, one thing we did need to do
Just verify your Mach number. I lost it.
is to
67, correct?
pop that at 380.
We're going decimal 65, Canada 120
Should drop down.
Canada 121 heavy, thanks. Report the Mach number and heading to London 133.7.
33.7 with the, thanks for the help again.
Back to control, shuttle 16 Golf with you, 192 heading.
What's that over there to our right?
Shuttle 16 Golf, London control, Roger, climb flight level 340, speed 250.
Whitton, should know that.
Confirm speed 250, for the last shuttle itself. That's correct. It's okay. Like, last shuttle itself. Shuttle 8 Whiskey, turn left, heading 320 degrees.
Confirm heading 330?
320.
320, Shuttle 8 Whiskey.
So,
Ryder 7 Delta, turn left, heading 335.
left heading 335 degrees, run SM Delta.
Ryder 907, Beaver 9701, left heading 325, climb to flight level 320.
Cross 320, heading 325.
JetX 23 Romeo Echo, contact London 129.425.
And you can see why. 10 degrees there, because we are approaching minimum maneuvering speed. In a climb as well.
Easy 8492 on the control, roger.
London Control, Shuttle 14 Kilo with you.
Shuttle 14 Kilo, London Control, wind ready, descent flight level 200, level distance.
Descent flight level 200, we're level by distance, Shuttle 14 Kilo.
Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, turn right, heading 330 degrees.
330, 8 Foxtrot. So are you trying to stall something with us?
Yeah, that's what it looks like, right?
So as we creep in, we may get an airspeed low warning.
There'll probably be more on the next frequency, but this is the last turn for me. Shuttle 8 Whiskey, climb flight level 300.
1,000 to go.
Shuttle 16 Golf, flight heading 330 degrees.
It's a little bit abnormal, but we can just let the aeroplane creep into the mid-manoeuvring. There's a lot of margin there to the stall, but it's not ideal.
Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, report to heading to Mach number to London 133.7.
Heading at Mark 1337, wish us luck, K Fox.
Good luck.
So we should get slightly lower fuel burn up here. So we probably need
119, we're ready to send flight level 140, level AVTSIM.
69 or 70 comfortable.
German 419 descending to 4 Sierra.
Nice
Shuttle
little
8
turn all over the
heading
country.
275.
275 something.
Ryanair 7 Delta, turn left heading 280 degrees.
Left heading 280 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Can you have that at tighter turn, please?
Unable, we're at minimum manoeuvring, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Okay, I'm still seeing. Ryanair FedEx 15 Papa, contacting Amsterdam 125.750.
125.750, FedEx 15 Papa.
So high altitude turns are no joy.
Ryanair center Papa Foxtrot.
So let's see what we need.
Shuttle 9 3 Golf Whiskey, turn left heading 31. Turn left heading 305.
305, Shuttle 306.
Flight 3 Golf Whiskey, report the heading to London 133.7.
337, Shuttle 93.
KLM
So
360. Report
let's just maintain 69.
Decimal 75.
and not please.
3
And you see the enunciation changes here.
Roger, speed 280 knots.
Speed 280 knots, current 360.
KLM 360, report the speed to Amsterdam 125.750.
125.750, current 360.
So I think he wanted to get us back by about Elvos. Someone underneath us there.
KLM 119, contact London Control 129er, decimal 425.
129er decimal. Could you repeat that, sir?
129er, 425.
129er, 425, KLM 129er.
Easy 42 Golf, descent flight level 15, level Kidley.
It's a big old turn in the sky, isn't it? How far is that?
I've got 152 with the airport flights 147000 to East Midlands Airport. Down again, we're all direction for this.
And now 152, stand by. Easy 42 Golf, descent flight level 150, level by Kidley. Ryanair 7 Delta, just roll out there, heading 3, it looks like about a 300.
We're wings level and 295 okay, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Yeah, 2955.
Yeah, that'll take us to Trent.
Shuttle 8 Sierra, London Control, squawk at deck, climb now, flight level 70, no faster than 250 knots.
Flight level 70 and we'll maintain speed, Shuttle 80.
Easy 849er 2, descent flight level 140, level AVTSIM.
So let's pull the fuel flow back a little bit. We might be able to creep back to 68.
Weaver 9701, turn right, heading 090 degrees.
Although it's not going to be especially efficient as the nose creeps up.
Weaver 9701, climb level 360.
So econ, I don't think.
122, have you got a general direction for me to east of the airport?
Yeah, they are not.
I've got 152 for Midlands, approximately heading 185.
Approximate 185, thank you very much.
So is that the M1 creeping back up?
Continue the system flight level 150.
Let's just let it stabilise at that speed and see what fuel flow we get. Eke out as much as we can. This is probably going to be a quite boring evening if we end up in the hold. Ryanair 7 Delta, request leave cockpit 2 minutes.
Ryanair 7 Delta, yeah, that's fine. Take the heading 305 and then you can just report back.
Heading 305, we'll go Ryanair 7 Delta, thanks. Right, I'll be back in 2 seconds.
Shuttle 8 Sierra, climb flight level, Shuttle 8 Sierra, heading 340 degrees, climb flight level 320. That's 20 seconds, Shuttle 8 Sierra. Shuttle 8 Sierra, heading 340 degrees, climb flight level 320. Heading 340 degrees, flight level 320, Shuttle 8 Sierra. EJ 42 Golf Zulu, contact London 129.425. It's at 129.425. Weaver 9701, turn left heading 345. Shuttle 16 Golf is able to maintain Mach decimal 67. Say again for Shuttle 16 Golf? Shuttle 16 Golf, maintain Mach decimal 67. Decimal 67, Shuttle 16 Golf. Weaver 9701, same for you if you can, Mach decimal 67. Ryanair 69er, Papa Foxtrot, contact London Control 129er, decimal 425. 129er, decimal 425, 69er, 26. Weaver 9701, could you now less than decimal 71? Weaver 9701, roger, maintain Mach decimal 71. 71, Weaver 9701. That's hello, Square 253, heading 312 degrees, climb 190. Weaver 253, London Control to look on flight level 340. Contact 340 and heading Square 253. Shuttle 8 Whiskey, turn right heading 090 degrees. 090, Shuttle 8. Weaver 9701, continue the left turn heading 295. Just heading 295, and I'll find one doing less than 70 on the front. That's no problem. I didn't look at your aircraft type. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's right. Ryanair 7 Delta, thanks. Report the heading in Mach to London 133.7.
Heading in Mach London and north 133.7, thanks for the service. Have a great night, Ryanair 7 Delta. Good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta. Radar heading 305 degrees, maintaining decimal 68.
Channel 910, London Control, descent flight level 150.
Maybe that didn't work.
Station checking in, say again please.
It might have been Ryanair 7 Delta. Radar heading 305, maintaining Mach decimal 68.
Ryanair 7 Delta, London Control, 100. London Control, good day again, London Control. Easy 7 by the Steamer, currently inbound.
Wasn't listening.
499 nautical miles, and cruising at 3100. Base stations 1 striking.
and then they'll just talk over each other.
Thank you. London, hello, it's Atlantic 6, Pole Hill 2, and departure inbound Pole Hill, passing flight level 152, climbing flight level 180.
At least we've got the fuel flow back.
Control, hello, squawk 0477.
0477 Atlantic 6.
But we are really dragging the airplane through the sky at this point.
Negative again, speedbird 007 with you, climbing flight number 280 toward Adjack.
Speedbird 007, London Control, roger.
So we've still got a ton and a half. So you can see how people step on each other, and when you do it you can't hear.
London Control, good evening, shuttle Nana Yankee with heading 165.
Shuttle 9 Yankee, London Control, climb flight level 370.
Altitude 370, Nana Yankee.
Air Canada 121, report MAC number to Scottish 135.850, goodbye. 35.850, we'll see Air Canada 121 heavy.
So
Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, turn right, heading 345.
there would be a tip for you, Rick, when you hear a frequency that you think you're going the same way,
Shuttle 8
pop it in
Foxtrot,
ready,
report MAC,
as I've done there,
heading to
up to
Scottish
585.
135.850, goodbye.
So we've done some interesting old weaves.
Level 350, heading 165.
Easy 180 Romeo, London Control, resume on navigation direct Lakey.
For navigation direct Lakey, easy 180 Romeo.
Channix 910, descent flight level 110.
110, actually,
Weather 1076, descent flight level 80, clear to leave control airspace by descent, expect ILS approach runway 20.
Weather 1076, expecting guidance, runway 20, continue heading 8000 feet and switching using 128, thank you, bye.
Weather 1076, negative, remain this frequency.
Copy that, remaining that track 1076.
Right at Edward Delta, uncontrolled, right at Edward Delta, inbound. Ryanair 8 Whiskey Delta, London Control, squawk it out, climb flight level 190.
Weather 1076, please confirm the vector ILS 20.
Later on.
Thank you, understood.
Rider motion 428, descent flight level 160.
Descent flight level 160, loud motion 48.
London, good evening, Shuttle 8 Whiskey level 300, turning heading 300.
Shuttle 8 Whiskey, London Control, roger.
Hi, good evening, Service. London 01, Captain 295.330, 17 minutes.
Speedbird 9701, London Control, roger.
London Control, Ryanair Concourse, thank you, inbound Wolseley.
Has the ATIS gone offline?
Ryanair 447, London Control, hello, squawk
Yes.
climb flight level 80.
Squawk it,
Anyway, I know that this is going to be the approach,
Descent flight level 90.
Descent level 90.
and we're actually probably going to get vectored. So there's Tom.
Atlantic.
This is effectively a big old arc to come in. We're probably not going to get that.
Atlantic 6, for your information, that will be about 210 indicated cruise.
Perfect.
So we're going to go ILS runway 24, and it's the Tower TLA transition. So when we look on the plan, step through that.
Speedbird 81 Alpha, contact Scottish 135.850, goodbye.
135.850,
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, turn right, heading 020 degrees.
Let's pop that down there. There's the start of the arrival.
Contact London 127.1.
Esto was the end. No, it wasn't. On to Ton. We've put the hold in.
Ryanair 8 Whiskey Delta, contact London 127.1.
That just brings us in It's just a strange little transition that brings us out of there, but we can tidy that up.
Janix 910, turn right, heading 055, descent flat level 80. 055, flat level 80. Ryanair 447, climb flat level 180. 180, Ryanair 447. Ryanair 7 Delta, turn right, heading 350 degrees.
Right, heading 350, Ryanair 7 Delta. So let's do that.
Janix 25 Victor 5000, also 1.
Janix 25 Victor, land control, squawk at end, climb flat level 180.
And you can see there's a long level segment here for that. That's 3000 with the Note 2. But that's fine. Use main procedure if it's lost. That doesn't apply. Step through this and all looks okay. So let's pop that in.
EV68 Bravo Papa, descent flight level 70.
We know from the weather
EV68 Bravo Papa, contact.
should be VMC.
Radar 119.850 goodbye. 119.850, EV68 Bravo Papa, stay safe. Janix 910 heading to Manchester, radar 118.575.
Pop the 30-mile ring in. It's giving us quite a nice arrival. We can tidy this bit up because there's our hold. We don't need that one, but we can go direct to that.
685, climate flat level 240. KDM 685, land control, climb flat level 280.
That's the point we've just got direct to.
Whiskey report heading and Mac number to
Above 4.
35.850.
So 23.
Speed bridge 007, right.
0.5 is that point.
Speed bridge 007, turn right, heading 065.
Just undo that and see what we get given. Tala 13.
Speed bridge 9701, turn right, heading 355.
That's above 6, that's fine, we can get rid of that.
9701, turn right, heading 355. Heading 355, do not observe. Shuttle 8 Whiskey, fly heading 2.
That then tidies that up a little bit.
219 back, Shuttle 1 to go, Whiskey, heading 1.
So 241
Shuttle 1
does match.
Control, turn left, heading 295. Heading 295, Shuttle 1 to stop.
So the performance we'll have to do as we're coming in, because we don't know how heavy we're going to be, because we don't know what the delay is going to be like. 08.9. All we've got. All we've got is 341, so we can leave 1089 on both. There is not even a VOR there, is there? So we don't need to even tune that. We can have 241. We go 241 for both. We get a bit of cloud and some traffic. Feet below. What's that out there to our left? Liverpool, no, Water, Blackpool. Well, we might end up going to Manchester.
Shuttle 8 0, land control, turn left, heading 305.
We're going to pretty much be affected all around the sky, I think.
Atlantic 6, report speed to Scottish 126.3 below. Speed to Scottish 126.3 Atlantic 6. Ryanair 7 Delta, report heading and Mac number to Scottish 135.850 by.
Heading back Scottish 135.850. Thanks very much for the service. Stay safe. Ryanair 7 Delta. Scottish, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta, flight level 380. Radar heading 350. Mach .68.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Scottish control. Good evening. Alpha vectors looking in at 1 Echo arrival, runway 24.
InPit 1 Echo, runway RLS24, -SM Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, expect flight level 260 by InPit, when ready, descend flight level 310.
Expect 260 by InPit, when ready, descend flight level 310, Ryanair 7 Delta. So, got to pop that all in, so InPit 260 we have got. It is, when ready, 310.
Ryanair 7 Delta, what's your best forward indicating airspeed?
We're at minimum manoeuvring as we speak, so we're decimal 68, Ryanair 7 Delta.
What's your best forward speed? What's the maximum you can give me?
Right now about 250, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, roger.
Was me not understanding the question. So let's go. We were cleared 310, which I've set, and so this is where it comes in, Rick, that you can get pretty maxed out. We are pretty much heading towards Shap, so let's get rid of everything.
Speedbird 81 Alpha, descend.
Go direct to Shap,
60 level by InPit.
60 by.
and the aeroplane will descend.
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, when ready, descend flight
We
level
will
260
have to
by
accelerate.
InPit.
When ready, descend flight level 260 by InPit, shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey.
Ryanair 7 Delta, route direct to InPit.
Direct InPit, Ryanair 7 Delta. On nav,
Speedbird
off we
81
go.
Alpha, report your speed to Scottish Control 126.3.
1260 with speed 81 Alpha.
Scottish Control, good evening, 29701,
So we are prioritising speed at the moment.
Speedbird 9701, Scottish Control, good evening, route direct to InPit, InPit 1 Echo arrival for 2-1.
So let's just check that we've got
971 Echo,
let's do 4. We're happy.
Uncanny version.
So it says 4 ton, 400 kilos, that fuel. I'm not convinced. So I'm getting a little bit twitchy about our fuel. You can see that we've increased. So we're burning just under 2 tons of fuel an hour. And so we've got an hour's fuel before we have to divert, give or take. So got to know that. Well, and that will be our divert to Manchester, which is our final divert.
Was there a set instruction in that as well? Sure 9701, not as yet. You can expect 260 by InPit. Expect it to 9701.
Manchester is a long way away. We could divert to Newcastle is closer. In fairness, we've got Prestwick, and in theory,
Ryanair 7 Delta, speed 280 knots on conversion, descend flight level 260 level by InPit.
280 on conversion, descent flight level 260 level InPit, Ryanair 7 Delta. So that's why you need. There we go. Yeah, the aeroplane can't do that path descent. And let's just chop those off. That's why you need a pen and paper to be able to write that down. So it's going to remain in path. The speed will gradually creep up. We haven't done the landing performance yet because we don't know how long it's going to be and how long we're going to be in the hold. Worst case scenario will be lighter than we are. So if we have a look here, it thinks we're going to burn 0.6, so that takes us down to 63.5.
Sure 9701, descend flight level 300. Above 300, 9701. Sure 9701, speed on conversion, 280 knots.
24, we know the wind is 2506. It is 10 degrees. It's 1022, and if this is slightly up, doesn't really matter. No credit, we think we're going to be 63.5. You can see vRYR 5. And oh dear.
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, report your speed to Scottish Control 126.3.
Let's check the chart for that.
126.3, shuttle entering.
Didn't think it was that short here. Okay, it is Edinburgh's short runway. 25. LDA 1676. Now that's going to be from about here. Probably about here to here. 2556. So, as you asked the other night, Rick, how do you know when you need flat 40? Well, here's a prime candidate, although that hasn't helped much. So that's going to be a max auto. So bringing it to flat 40 hasn't helped. Flap 30 doesn't make much of a difference, so we will go flap 30 max auto, which is pretty unusual. But we will readjust that if we end up lighter. And you want to set the auto brake as part of the approach briefing, as we've just done. So flap 30, because the extra fuel that we use on the approach is not going to make enough difference there. 151, 146, 151. And that will set you up nicely. So on conversion, he wanted 280. So we're going to go speed into van, we're going to end up a little bit fast. What we really want is to bug. There we go. So 280 on conversion. Now what we can do is speed to Scottish 126.3. Thanks for the service. Stay safe, runner 7 Delta. 126. 123. So there we are, and actually we need level change now because that really isn't. That wasn't working. So a little bit of speed brake to help us out.
Runner 8032, contact Edinburgh 121.2. 1212, we're on 803 Zulu by. Shuttle 8 Fox, contact Edinburgh 121.2. 21.2, right.
Scottish, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta, speed 280 knots.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Scottish Control, reduce speed 250 knots.
Reduce speed 250, and with that we'll be unable to make restriction in pit.
Ryanair 7 Delta, that's fine, we're holding quite high at turn at the moment, so there's no rush with the descent. You can be on flight level 230.
Speed 250, descent flight level 230, thanks, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle 930 Whiskey, descent flight level 230.
So, can out intervent that.
Shuttle 930 Whiskey, hold that tartan, reduce to holding speed.
And there we go. So, tartan that we put in earlier has saved us some effort.
Flight level 200. Flight level 200, not transfer 530.
And so, because there is no rush,
9701, Scottish Control, descent flight level 2401, conversion, reduce speed at 250. 250 on conversion.
He said no rush, so I'm going to take that literally, which means minimum descent of 500 feet per minute.
Super 81 Alpha, descent flight level 180. 180, ready for Super 81 Alpha, contact Edinburgh radar 121.2.
So max hold 140, I'm sure they don't care about that. So if you're still with us, Rick, sorry it's a little bit boring, but these events do get busy and then it's just about holding. So there's one stream I think I did quite a while ago where Zibo at the time was not holding very well, and that was holding for about 2 hours just using heading select. I'm not sure how I didn't give up. So let's get rid of that restriction. Don't know what went on there. So that should have got rid of that. It hasn't. So let's just delete these out manually. I think let's go 140 for max, and that'll give us a profile that will show us where we should be. Wow, still high, okay. If we were put into the hold at 140.
Whiskey fly heading 270 degrees.
Heading 270 degrees, should battery go for this.
It's just a short dog line whilst I wait for the holding pattern to drop.
Yeah, that's right.
Ryanair 7 Delta, fly heading 270 degrees.
Heading 270 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle line through Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 210.
Flight level 210, shuttle line through Golf Whiskey. And you confirm the heading was 275.
270.
So I think that's for spacing. As it is a bit more efficient to get us flying all over the place than it is holding. Holding uses a lot of fuel. So we've got almost 2 tons. Let's get dull already. Places like Heathrow are usually quite good for events because at least they've got 2 runways, but when we have crazy events like this on a single runway, it does get a bit, especially at a small airport.
Ryanair 7 Delta, descent flight level 220.
Descent flight level 220, Ryanair 7 Delta. And we can expedite if you need. We're just doing 500 feet a minute at the moment, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Yeah, no, please do at least 1,000 so I can get the traffic behind you down as well.
Roger, we'll go Ryanair 7 Delta.
Thanks. River 9701, descent flight level 230.
That's not going to be 300.
Shuttle line through Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 200.
Flight level 200, shuttle line through Golf Whiskey.
So let's see what we get. 1,000.
Ryanair 7 Delta, turn left heading 180 degrees.
Left 180 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle line through Golf Whiskey, turn left heading 210 degrees.
Left heading 210 degrees, shuttle line through Golf Whiskey.
So you can do an intercept course there. That's something we should probably talk about another time. Once Eskdo ends up behind us, should carry on the turn. Okay. So we're still not quite.
Speedbird 81 Alpha,
How you
still
doing?
with me. Ryanair 7 Delta, turn left heading 090 degrees.
Left 090 degrees, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle line through Golf Whiskey, turn left heading 090 degrees.
Left heading 090 degrees, shuttle line through Golf Whiskey.
Where? You can't see where we've been. Might do a little show on VATSIM. So if anyone else is watching, please say hi. It says there's 3 people, so say hi in the chat.
River 9701, turn left heading 270 degrees.
Left heading 270 degrees.
Ryanair 7 Delta, descent flight level 210.
Descent flight level 210, Ryanair 7 Delta.
River 9701, descent flight level 220.
Level 220,
Ryanair 7 Delta, turn left direct Marcus to hold.
Left direct to hold run SM Delta.
Shuttle 9 to Golf Whiskey, turn left direct park to hold.
Click 10 out to top the hold, shuttle 9 to Golf Whiskey.
No trans 3502, descent flight level 180.
180, no trans 3502.
Zero 9701, turn left heading 220 degrees. 220.
It drew that interestingly. It was flying this profile. Whatever.
Trans 3502, descent flight level 170.
170, no trans 3502.
Super 9701, start the descent, please, flight level 220.
Already confused what direction we're heading in. I thought we were going east.
Thanks.
1,000 to go.
Delta, descent flight level 200.
Descent flight level 200, right, SM Delta.
Shanix 25, Victor, descent flight level 230.
Flight level 230, Shanix 25 Victor.
Everyone's confused and chucking up in the back, going around in circles.
Delta trans 3502, descent flight level 160.
Descent 160, no trans 3502.
Shuttle 9 True Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 180.
57 flight level 180, shuttle 9 True
Oh
Golf
god,
Whiskey.
there's at least
Atlantic 6,
4
turn
ahead.
left heading 270 degrees. Turn left, head west, Atlantic 6. Shanix 25 Victor, turn left heading 270 degrees.
Don't copy that as a readback.
70, Shanix 25 Victor.
Ryder 7 Delta, descent flight level 190.
Descent flight level 190, run SM Delta.
Ryder 7 Delta, reduce to holding speed.
Holding speed, run SM Delta.
Super 97
So-
descent flight level 200, turn left heading 090 degrees. Heading 090, descent flight level 200. Delta trans 3502, descent flight level 150.
What's our best holding speed going to be? 230, but it isn't that. We are currently...
Scottish control leading earrings 5 number and then passing 3,500 Hala 6.
Where is the flap up bug?
Gearwings 5 November Romeo Scottish control, squawk headends, climb now, flight level 110.
I'll tell you why there's no flap up bug, because that's our best glide speed, because we're above flight level 200. So will it appear? No, okay, so I was talking rubbish, but you can't use flap
Thousand to
above.
go.
There we go, so I was right. You can't deploy flap above flight level 20,000 feet, so that's one of the limitations, so there we go. Genius me, I was right. Sometimes I impress myself. And you can see at 1,000 feet a minute we're actually struggling to slow down. But we're not going to struggle in a minute. So, modes, MCP speed, LNAV direct, outer choir. And holding speed is going to be 210, that's the flap up speed, which is this glide.
160.
160, shuttle 9 True Golf Whiskey.
So it should in the hole give you the best speed. You see it there, but it doesn't, and that would be minimum fuel burn. It should be roughly the flap up speed, I believe. But I'm not type rated, so don't take what I say as gospel. And for everyone that's watching, let's learn how to fly a hold. You just let the autopilot do it.
Ryder 7 Delta, descent flight level 180.
Descent flight level 180, run 7 Delta.
Super 9701, descent flight level 190. Atlantic 6, turn left, heading 100 degrees.
That's a bit
1,000
much.
to go.
Let's go for 1,000 feet.
Shanix 25 Victor, turn left, heading 180 degrees.
Left heading 180, Shanix 25 Victor.
Scottish Control, Scandinavian Sierra 8 with you 3,500. Scandinavian Sierra 9 Scottish Squawk.
That's where we want to be. It's where we are.
Gearing 5 November Romeo, turn right, heading 185.
Right 185, gearing 5 November Romeo.
Star Trans 3502, descent flight level 140. 140, no trans 3502. Runner 7 Delta, descent flight level 170.
Descent flight level
1,000
170, runner 7 Delta. So we'll keep it like that.
Descent flight level 190, turn left, heading 090 to base. Left 090 down to 190, heading T5 Victor. Atlantic 6, turn left, heading 090. Turn left, heading east, Atlantic 6.
Say
Star
that.
Trans 3502, descent flight level
1,000 to go.
130, no trans 3502. No trans 3502, contact Edinburgh radar 121.2.
So we'll tune that.
121.2, Edinburgh radar, no trans 3502, check. Shuttle line 2 Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 150. Descent flight level 150, shuttle line 3 Golf Whiskey. Chenix 25 Victor, turn left direct target to hold. Return to hold, Chenix 25 Victor. Atlantic 6, turn left direct target to hold. Turn left through direct target to hold, Atlantic 6. Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 140. Descent flight level 140, shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey. Runner 7 Delta, descent flight level 160.
1,000 to go.
Descent flight level 160, runner 7 Delta. There you go, so I could anticipate what he was going to say then. And make sure the aeroplane didn't out-acquire.
Thousand to go.
It does sound very Scandinavian, that's terrible.
Turn right, heading 185, climb flight level 110.
Okay, so... Oh... It's 2-4, but we need the downwind ILS on.
Right turn heading 185, climb maintain flight level 110, Scandinavian 08. Gearwings 5 November Romeo, climb flight level 210.
Climb 210, gearing 5 November Romeo.
Be interesting to see if people are actually following that hold.
Holding speed, heading 25 Victor.
Getting ready. So the aeroplane has out-acquired, as long as it's still descending, and I move it. That's not going to happen. Into the hold at 160. And we've been online for an hour. Hey, we won't get 2 hours out of this, an extra couple of virtual Ryanair points. We don't win prizes. So, picking up the NDBs, terminal NDB, so I'd expect it to pick it up about 20 miles away, 10, 15 ish.
Shuttle line 3 Golf Whiskey, contact Edinburgh radar 121.2. 1212, cheers, good night. Shuttle line 3 Golf Whiskey. Runner 7 Delta, descent flight level 150.
Descent flight level 150, runner 7 Delta.
Atlantic 6, reduced
1,000 to go.
015.
Atlantic 6, we're presently 190.
325.
Okay with you. Oh, how do you assign
No,
to distance?
195. Mental.
Atlantic 6. Scottish Control, good evening, show 16 Golf.
I need to work on my mental maths.
Sort of 16 Golf, Scottish Control, roger.
Scottish, good evening, Shuttle 8 Whiskey, descending level 220 on the MP1 arrival.
Shuttle 8 Whiskey, Scottish Control, roger. 09741, descent flight level 160. 160, Ryanair 7 Delta, contact Edinburgh radar 128.975.
Edinburgh radar 128.975, thanks for service. Stay set for Ryanair 7 Delta.
You too, boy. Good thing.
Trying to turn to 97.
Yeah, mate.
16 to 40 M, yes, sir, passenger.
3550, contact Edinburgh Tower, Callsign only, 118.7, bye-bye.
1870, sir, passenger, see you.
Edinburgh radar, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta. Flight level 150, holding tower. Correction, Tom.
Edinburgh frequency, contact Edinburgh radar, 18, third question, 121.2.
121.2, Ryanair 7 Delta.
We sign only, goodbye.
28.97 was here, count 120.
Speed about 8 1 Alpha, descent flight level 80.
Edinburgh radar, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta, holding Tartan, flight level 150.
Ryanair 7 Delta, roger. Speedbird 8 went out for contact, Edinburgh radar now, 121.3.
121.3 for 81 Alpha, bye.
Nortrans train, so Nortrans train 502, Edinburgh radar, 121.3.
Roger, 121.3, Nortrans train 502, hi.
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, Edinburgh radar, 121.3. Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, Edinburgh radar, 121.3.
1213, Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey.
Legend 82, Papa, turn left, heading 060 degrees.
Left 060, Legend 82 Papa.
Legend 82, Papa, Edinburgh radar, course and only one correction, Edinburgh director, course and only 128.975, goodbye.
God.
1897, Legend 82 Papa, bye.
Shuttle 8 Foxtrot, descent to altitude 4,000 feet to QNH 1023.
4,1023, Shuttle 8 Fox.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Edinburgh radar, 121.3.
Radar 121.3, thanks, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, Edinburgh, okay. Speedbird 8 went out for descent, flight level 70.
Sending 7081 Alpha.
Edinburgh radar, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta, holding Tartan, flight level 150.
Hello, Edinburgh 160 and hold on. The 9701 Edinburgh radar, good evening.
Radar, good evening, Atlantic 6, Relentless DC6, maintaining flight level 170, inbound task to hold information Alpha QNH 1023.
Flying that manually.
6 Edinburgh, very good evening, and task to to hold, it's about 50 minutes delay.
Confirm route Tartan, then tweet to hold Atlantic 6.
Right, so it's task to tweet to hold, the holding instructions for tweets on the chart is not accurate yet.
I can get the charts at Atlantic 6, thank you.
Nortrans 3502, descent flight level 80.
Descent, flight level 80, IBK 3502.
So still 2-4, variable winds 2 knots.
Edinburgh, X25 Victor, portable 180.
X25 Victor, Edinburgh, very good evening, head to the hold, time tweet to hold, it's about 60 minutes delay.
Roger, we'll have them hold at start for you, X25 Victor.
Great, so this is just us going round. This is not me doing heading all the time. How are we doing fuel-wise? So you see we've got...
Shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 90.
I suppose it's not too bad at this altitude.
Descent, flight level 900, Tango
0.6.
Sorry, 93 Golf Whiskey on one line.
It's all good fun. So 1.8 tons, creeping up a bit. Yeah, almost 2 tons in the hold. And we need 3 to divert, so we've got 1.4 to play with. Which ain't gonna last long.
So they went out for Edinburgh radar?
Yes, go ahead.
So they went out for contact Edinburgh radar, please. The frequency is 121.2.
12128 Alpha.
Ryanair 7 Delta, descent flight level 100.
Descent flight level 100, Ryanair 7 Delta. So that's cleared the hold out a bit. Let's go level change, get down a little bit quicker.
Nortrans 3502, descent flight level 70.
Flight level 70, kicking 3530.
Okay, not on 3530, call sign is not on 3530.
Oh, sorry, Daniel.
Not on 3532, contact to Edinburgh radar with call sign only 121.2.
Edinburgh radar 121.2, call sign not trans 3530, ciao.
9 Signal Whiskey, descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey.
Round and round and round we go.
9701, descent flight level 150. Descent flight level 150 through 9701.
Terrible for the environment. Good thing it's only virtual fuel. It's only the power that it takes to keep the PC running.
Atlantic 6, descent flight level 160.
Descent flight level 160, Atlantic 6.
So Manchester is actually a bit of a way away. As you can see here, Newcastle is out over here.
Ryanair 7 Delta, descent flight level 90.
Descent flight level 90, Ryanair 7 Delta. So although Manchester is our filed alternate,
Susan 9701, descent flight level
because the weather is better,
flight level 130 through 9701.
we could go to Glasgow should we wish. Don't know if there's any coverage there. Well, the whole of Scottish is online, so
Select 25 Victor, descent flight level 170.
it's only a train ride away.
170, select 25 Victor.
But we'll see how we go. I think we can hold for quite a while. I mean, we can. It's just going to be boring.
Should 9 Golf Whiskey, descent flight level 70.
Pilot 70, should 9 Golf Whiskey.
Should 9 Golf Whiskey, contact Edinburgh radar, call sign only 121.2.
Call sign 1212, choose Tango, yeah, shuttle 93 Golf Whiskey.
So we're on the holding page, which is good. Point 2 if we left now. We are at what our predicted landing weight was, so we could sneak in to auto brake 3, which would be cheaper on the very expensive aeroplane carbon brakes.
Sugar 9701, descent flight level 120.
I think we'd have to use a bit more than that, to be honest. The weather has changed to variable 2 knots. So
Atlantic 6, descent
it's
flight
basically
level,
0.
Let's have a look, which one's free? Descent flight level 140.
Descent flight level 140, Atlantic 6.
So variable at 2. So I don't think you can do variable on that.
Ryanair 7 Delta, descent flight level 80.
Descent flight level 80, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, best rate of descent please, if that's possible.
Doing it, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Okay.
Good evening, shuttle late whiskey.
I mean, actually, I'll tell you what, we can go to 230.
Late whiskey, good evening. It's time for you to hold, about 20 minutes away.
And shuttle late whiskey confirm 20 minutes.
Great, so 20 minutes, maybe slightly less if I can get mine together.
Shuttle whiskey, in that case, I would like to start diversion to Glasgow, please.
Should I whiskey roger remain in the hold? I'll coordinate that now.
Didn't have a lot of extra fuel.
Channel 25 Victor, descent flight level 160.
Flight level 160, shuttle 25 Victor.
Uber 9701, descent flight level 110.
That hasn't helped much.
Flight 110,
So sterile cockpit time. It's a short runway. That really hasn't helped, has it? So,
Good evening. It's start between
yeah,
the hold
230.
0 minute delay.
Confirm 20 minutes, delay, show 1 to golf.
Right, so I can maybe get it down to 15 minutes.
That's at the moment, been here, great, right, show 1 to golf.
1,000 to go.
100 through 970.
So,
Minus 7 Delta, decent flight level 70.
descent flight level 70, right, 7 Delta.
Minus 7 Delta, contact Edinburgh radar with the call sign only 121.2, bye-bye.
Call sign only 121.2, thanks for the service, great event, and stay safe, runner 7 Delta. Edinburgh radar, good evening, runner 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, hello Edinburgh radar.
1,000 to go.
So we can leave the speed brake out. We can bring that back. Bring that back. Put the speed brake in. Just a little bit efficient. I guess we missed one lap.
Ryanair 7 Delta, turn left, heading 030 degrees, left, 030, speed 220 knots.
Left, heading 030 degrees, speed 220, right, 7 Delta. Ooh, this is going to make people dizzy and sick. It's making me feel sick. So, we are exiting the hold at this point. Not exactly sure what that heading's going to give us. But let's just go to the next waypoint for situational awareness. I'll build the profile as well. We will get vectors. That's pretty much giving us, yeah, I think that's taken us that way. LNAV, Zibo is coded beautifully there to work out pretty much your standard rate 25 degree turn, and it did that quite well. I think it might not take into account, is it taking into account the wind?
Ryanair 7 Delta, descend altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 102 tree.
Descend altitude 4,000 feet, QNH 102 tree, Ryanair 7 Delta. So, altitude, QNH. I've already done that. Checked. And finally we are on our way. Now, important when you've got the downwind ILSs enabled is to make sure that you identify course and ident. One thing we haven't done, set the minimums. 300, it's nice and easy.
Edinburgh radar, good evening, Scandinavian 78, descent level 70, hold 0.
Ryanair 778, contact Edinburgh 121.3.
So weight wise, pretty much bang on, so we need auto brake max.
Ryanair 7 Delta, contact Edinburgh Director 128.975.
Director 128.975, thanks for the service. Great event, stay safe, Ryanair 7 Delta. 2897. That's good, we can tune that straight up. Edinburgh Director, good evening, Ryanair 7 Delta. Passing altitude 6,000, descending altitude 4,000 feet.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Edinburgh Director, good afternoon, good evening. You currently have 30 track miles till touchdown.
Roger, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle 93, Golf Whiskey speed
So,
180.
1089, 1089, 1089. 241, 241. Height check will be 1420 at 4 DME. Minimum's 300. Missed approach straight ahead to 3000, then I was directed.
Speed 502, speed 160 knots, maintain at 4 DME. 164 knots, trans 3, 052. I'll shut you with.
So we are getting vectored a little bit further out, but I imagine we'll get cut in.
Whiskey, turn left in 330 degrees, eastern altitude 3,000 feet.
Left 330 degrees, send 3,000 feet, Shuttle 93, Golf Whiskey.
Actually something more like that.
1,000 to go.
We're certainly going to be following that guy in. So I probably should have gone to vertical speed a little bit earlier than that. Oh. And I have a feeling we are in cloud at this point. Let's just pop the wing anti-ice on for 1 minute.
Altimeter setting.
No, the altimeter is fine.
That's 3502, contact Edinburgh Tower, call slowly.
1023, 1023.
What's that 3 isn't that? 118.7, North Trent 3502.
It's a bit spurious.
Your call center's 3. Oh yeah.
So, everything seems to be working alright.
Shuttle Van Greek Golf Whiskey, 10 latitude 280 degrees, cleared RLS approach 2024. 280 degrees, RLS 24, shut latitude Golf Whiskey.
Sounds like he's the one ahead of us.
7 Delta, speed 180.
Speed 180, Ryanair 7 Delta. Now, in fairness, you would bug up first. Given a speed, ITH 241, localizer was doing a wee dance there. As we pass flap up, we will go flap 1, flap 1, flap 2 should do it, yes, and I'm happy to carry through a little bit of that energy so the speed brakes can go in.
Right ahead of Delta, 10 latitude 330 degrees, east 3,000 feet.
Left heading 330 degrees, descend altitude 3,000 feet, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Shuttle Van Greek Golf Whiskey, speed 160 knots, maintain us for 4 DMA.
So let's try that initially, see what we get.
1,000 to go.
And I think that's what we've been cleared to. That's where we want to be. So we are a little high, which is fine. Right, the speed brake was still out there, even though I had put them in.
Edinburgh, Carlisle, 79701. 29701, Edinburgh, direct.
So you can see it switching between the two there. Right.
107 Delta, 10 latitude 280 degrees, cleared RLS approach from 24.
Left heading 280 degrees, cleared ILS 24, Ryanair 7 Delta. So heading, we have identified, I'm going to bring that back to 300 feet a minute now. Really inefficient. Just popped out the cloud. We can
1,000 to go.
secure the cabin. So identified and tuned to the localizer. We have been cleared for the approach, so we can arm forelock. Out acquire. Looks like we're going to creep into a little bit of cloud. Feels like it's taking a long old time, doesn't it? Tower tuned. There's the localizer alive. Capture. It's capturing nicely now. Turns a bit earlier than it used to. We're cleared for the approach. We have captured the correct localizer. We're not going to go full glide slope. Can arm approach. Looks like it's pretty much straight down the run. It's picked up a bit. So we have armed the glide slope. May need to configure at 5. No, we're just creeping out of the cloud now. Ryanair 7 Delta established RNS 2410 miles.
Ryanair 7 Delta, effective speed 160 knots, maintain until 4 DMH.
160 until 4, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Speed Dallas 701, turn back in 330 degrees.
Yeah.
3,000 feet. Speed
Didn't like that.
180 knots.
180 knots, heading 330 down to 6,609,701.
Ryanair 7 Delta, contact Edinburgh Tower, Callsign only 118.7. Goodbye.
Tower Callsign only 118.7. Thanks very much. Great event. It's Ryanair 7 Delta.
Cheers.
Tower, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta.
Last mission calling second.
Tower, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta.
2500.
Tower, continue approach, way 24, number 2.
Did you approach number 2, Ryanair 7 Delta? So we're going to have to go 165. The plane don't like that. So speed brake armed, auto brake, max required, max set, flaps set, holding on, gear down. Start switch is continuous, cabin secure, holding on the landing clearance and landing flap. 2175 means ground.
Mike 170, hold Delta 3.
Holding Delta 3.
So height check 1420.
Unable to locate left.
Right, roger, we seem to have a little bit of a block up there. Taxi over down to Alpha 1, please, locate that.
Okay, down to Alpha 1.
Oh, mate, come on. So, gear down, flap 15, match speed, and we will go flap 30, 150. See if we can
Ryanair 7
train
Delta, please reduce minimum approach speed.
Reducing Ryanair 7 Delta. So that's as best we can do. Auto brake is
1000.
Speed brake armed, auto brake set. Flap 30, gear down 3 green, start switch is continuous. Checked holding on the landing clearance.
27 Tango, fly road, good evening to Edinburgh Tower. Continue your taxi, hold kindly back ahead.
Approaching 24.
Tell them 637, cleared immediate takeoff from way 24, winds 250 degrees.
Oh, we ain't going to make that. That was a bit unnecessary.
500. 400.
2411, given to Edinburgh Tower. When it's available, can you taxi hold whiskey 3, please?
Unable, MS4.
Roger, MS24, continue holding.
300.
Roger, brake, step running, step to go around, continue go around, dodge.
Approaching.
Going around Ryanair 7 Delta. So,
Ryanair 7 Delta, turn right
okay.
now, heading 015 degrees, climb 3000.
right, heading 315 degrees, climb 3000, Ryanair 7 Delta. So not
Ryanair
for go
7
around.
Delta, negative, turn right, heading 035 degrees, climb 3000.
035, 3000, Ryanair 7 Delta. So, let's get some speed on. Airplane was well out of trim there. Right, go gear up.
Hello, 79701.
Calling second.
9701, 5 miles.
Roger, 9701, brake Ryanair 7 Delta, it'll be right 010, climb 4000.
Right Right 010, climb 4000, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, roger, contact. Actually, hold standby.
So we would like a pitch
Ryanair
mode.
7, contact Edinburgh now on 128.975 today.
128.975, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Spirit 9701, runway 24, cleared land winds 250 4 knots.
8,000 feet, cleared RS approach runway 24.
Heading to 80 and was at 3,000 feet, for Scandinavian Southside.
Edinburgh Ryanair 7 Delta with you, radar heading 010, climbing 4000.
Ryanair 7 Delta, Edinburgh, caution the radar heading low, with metric around runway 24 again.
1,000 to go.
Right, heading 060 degrees.
Right 060, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Ryanair 7 Delta, speed 180 knots.
Speed 180, Ryanair 7 Delta.
Edinburgh Director, Atlantic 6, hello, maintaining altitude 4,000 feet, radar heading east, speed 180 knots.
So this is all manually flown at this point,
Edinburgh Director, good afternoon. Currently have 28 truck miles till touchdown.
just to make my life difficult.
Left heading 060 degrees. Turn left heading 060 degrees, Atlantic 6.
So passing flap up. Let's get on the flight directors and trim.
Ryanair 7 Delta 10, right heading 080 degrees.
Right 080, Ryanair 7 Delta. So the speed's coming back pretty quick with the flap, and you can see the pitch change. Flap tool do us. It's very difficult to feel that trim.
Ryanair 7 Delta 10, right heading 090 degrees.
Right 090, Ryanair 7 Delta. So lots of pitch and heading changes.
Ryanair 7 Delta, decent altitude 3,000 feet.
Descend altitude 3000, Ryanair 7 Delta. Now that's annoying that it doesn't work. I have to ask Zibo again. Maybe I've got the wrong control and I should shut up. It's possibly more like it. Whoa, a little bit too much. So we don't want out hold. We do want to descend. So I'm not on the flight director there.
Atlantic 6, turn left heading 360 degrees. Turn left head north, Atlantic 6.
Irritating.
1,000 to go.
A little bit of a high closure rate there, so let's just add a squeeze of power.
And please do visualize to 4, Scandinavian Southside.
Scandinavian 778, roger, continue approach. Ryanair 7 Delta 10, right heading 200, cleared RS approach runway 24.
Right, heading 200, cleared ILS 24, Ryanair 7 Delta. Alright, let's fly the whole thing manually.
Scandinavian 778, speed 160 knots, maintain at 4 DMA.
160 at 4 for Scandinavian Southside.
Atlantic 6, decent altitude 3,000 feet.
Descent altitude 3,000 feet, Atlantic 6.
So we want to time that turn a little.
Scandinavian 778, contact Edinburgh Tower, course at only 118.7, bye.
Bye-bye.
So localizer alive.
Victor, information Bravo. Connect to Victor
Go, action, Adam, director, good afternoon, Charlie 24, till touchdown.
So, hand flying
Right,
27.
Delta 2, heading 200, confirm.
Turning 200, Rhino 7 Delta.
Okay, thank you.
Localizer alive.
280 degrees, clear on approach, runway 24.
Turn left heading 280 degrees, cleared for the ILS approach, runway 24, Atlantic 6 and request 170 or not, 170 also left to join the localizer.
No, that's been perfect actually, Atlantic 6, speed 160.
160 knots, and we can give you that till 4 Atlantic 6.
Right, that's the Delta, speed 16, actually crashing into you for speed 180.
Continue 180, Rhino 7 Delta.
Chinook 25 Victor, turn left heading 360 degrees. 360, Chinook 25 Victor.
Rhino 7 and Delta, localizer established 10 miles.
Rhino 7 Delta, roger. Atlantic 6, wind check, leading crew position.
Unable Atlantic 6, we don't have the instrumentation.
Chinook 25 Victor, wind check, leading crew position.
Say speed check.
Measure wind check.
Okay, we've got, yeah, hold on.
So the first half of that go now.
Speed 160 or still 40.
160 until 4 Rhino 7 Delta.
Chinook 25 Victor is 280 at 10.
Okay, thank you. Chinook 25 Victor, descent altitude 3,000 feet, speed 180 knots.
Altitude 3,000, speed 180, Chinook
2,500.
So, come on, that aeroplane.
Rhino 7 Delta, contact the tower course only 118.7 Dubai.
Tower course sign only 118.7 Rhino 7 Delta, thanks.
166.
Tower, good evening again, Rhino 7 Delta.
Rhino 7 Delta, good evening. It's approach 240, number 1 break, American 17024, clear to off wind 2504.
Good to take off 24 American 170.
Scandi 778 mile from any taxi line.
Yeah, a bit high.
Yeah. The next platform, contact 121, this was 75, Scandi 778. Edinburgh, good evening, Atlantic 6 on the ILS, runway 2411 miles, 160 knots till 4.
Atlantic 6, Edinburgh, good evening to Edinburgh, runway 24, number 2.
Continue bridge, Atlantic 6.
So we can manage about 165. It's not terrible. Anyway, should be paying attention. There's 4 miles. Too busy flying the damn thing. Don't want to drop the power too much.
Rhino 7 Delta 24, clear land, wind 2504.
Clear down 24, Rhino 7 Delta.
American 170, contact Scottish 124, 825, yeah.
Over to Scottish, good night.
It's a little bit high.
Tower, EG27 Tango, holding still, 1 for runway 24. EG27 Tango, Edinburgh, good evening.
Approaching 2-4.
So not bad considering I've flown that since the last approach.
500.
All about the hand flying.
400. 300. Approaching minimums. 200. Minimums.
Yeah, so that minimums continue.
100.
We are massively high.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Get the airplane down in the touchdown zone. So reverse thrust is going to make no difference apart from to the brake temperatures. There you go. So
80 knots.
Idle reverse, we are going to make the exits. Going to make the end. Manual braking. Oh, I didn't see that exit.
2,000 feet remaining. One 1,000 remaining.
Edinburgh, Challenger 25 Victor. Challenger 25 Victor, Edinburgh, good evening. Continue approach runway 25 number 2. Continue, Challenger 25 Victor.
One 100 remaining.
Ryanair 7 Delta vacated.
Ryanair 7 Delta, thanks. Alpha, star, equation Alpha, contact ground 121750.
Ground 121750, thanks. Ryanair 7 Delta.
Atlantic 624, clear to land 22504. Clear to land runway 24, Atlantic 6. ET27 Tango behind the...
Ground, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta vacated Alpha. 118.7. 12175. Ground, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta vacated Alpha. Oh, fuck's sake.
Mike 1 via Mike.
515, not transit 103.
Ground, good evening. Ryanair 7 Delta vacated Alpha.
Ryanair 7 Delta, we're going to load taxi Alpha 12 via Alpha.
Alpha 12 via Alpha, Ryanair 7 Delta. Well, that was busy.
Eurotrans 21235, taxi on the point, Mike 1 via Mike.
Spike 1, Eurotrans 2135.
Scandinavian 778, taxi stand 27 via Lima and Gulf.
Taxi stand 27 via Lima and Gulf, Scandinavian 778.
Good, high brake temps there.
Continue taxi Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha.
Delta 1, 24, not transit 103.
So Alpha 12. We haven't missed it, that should have been 8, that's 9. Let's get the APU started. What's it say about the landing? Probably rubbish. Yeah, rubbish. Whatever. Got a bit floaty near the end. Ryanair says 250. Yeah, take that. So I think this is 2-1 approaching. 1-2 even. So what I don't want to do is really come to a stop and then start up again, so I'm not going to turn an engine off yet, but I am going to pop the APU on the bus.
Edinburgh ground, good evening, Atlantic 6, vacated taxi via Alpha.
Atlantic 6, Edinburgh ground, load taxi Alpha 12 via Alpha.
Alpha 12 via Alpha Atlantic 6.
Trans 3505, contact Edinburgh Tower 118.7, bye-bye.
Edinburgh Tower 118.7, that's for non-trans 3503, confirm.
Affirm.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Right, let's have Delta holding Alpha 12.
Runner 7 Delta, taxi stand 4 via Echo.
Stand 4 via Echo, thanks Runner 7 Delta. So, I am going to turn off engine number 2.
Victor, turn left out Alpha.
Oh, I should have got us going before that.
Alpha holding point, Alpha 12, Shanix 25.
So it should be second on the left down here.
14, ready for taxi.
Easy 814, taxi, actually hold position.
Hold position, Easy 814.
So there's the turn, should be second on the left. Because this land's in the way. Just confirm those markings. It's got to be that one then, and then that's 5.
Easy 814, after the runner 77800 passes the left, right, taxi, holding point, Echo 1 via Echo.
After the Ryanair 737 passes left to right, taxi hold point, Echo 1 via Echo, Easy 814.
That's not an EasyJet livery, but I have seen an EasyJet livery. Unless he wasn't talking to it.
All stations, Edinburgh Broadcast, QH1024.
Ooh, hello. Don't be stealing my word. It's a little unrealistic, never mind.
Tralex 25 Victor, taxi stand 16 via Alpha Lima Golf.
Stand 16 Alpha Lima Golf, Shanix 25 Victor.
Well, that'll have to do. Oh no, we can go a bit further forward. Let's do that. Just annoy him as soon as you pick the wrong stand. Pick that one. So that's an EasyJet livery, but that one is a non-standard EasyJet livery. Good thing that we don't cause crashes. Anyway, there we are, parking brake set. On stand at 21:15.
Your trans 2135 taxi, on the point Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha.
2 blues, 1 red, engine dead, we've already done. 20% N1, we've got correction N2.
Good enough flies at the door, ladies and gentlemen, you're very, very welcome.
Your trans 2135, confirm on Charlie 1.
Won't bother doing anything else, seeing as people in the way. So we had 250,
Make a left onto Alpha, the point Alpha 16.
232,
Alpha 16, your trans 2135.
we've got 1690,
Actually, your trans
1670,
left Alpha, target point Charlie 1, runway 24.
2.76 used,
Left Alpha, Charlie
2.73.
your trans 2135, thanks.
It's good to move. Happy days. Anyway, this is us in a very, very busy Edinburgh. Welcome.
Easy 814 right, Alpha, hold point Alpha 14.
I don't think Edinburgh has
Right,
ever
Alpha,
been
hold
this
point,
busy.
Alpha 14, Easy 814.
How can you add the green circles to the radar? Sorry if I missed that question, Rick. So, they come from the fix page. So if I do remember from the chart here, the Edinburgh, or no, EDN, NDB, right, that should show up sort of over there somewhere. Yeah, there you go, you see? So that's a fix. That can be any fix that's in the database. If it's a point in your route, you can use it. And if I want to do a 4-mile fix ring, radial distance, there's a 4-mile fix ring. If I wanted to do a radial from it, I would do that. And you can also do, where are we going to be?
47, your traffic 2135, good night.
You can do a fix and a distance, like that. So that is how you get those. So quite useful. If I wanted to do it around the airport, see, there is the airport in the database, and you can do exactly the same. So if you wanted, you wouldn't want 100 miles, but 1 mile ring.
On the point Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha.
On the point Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha, but if I carry on my taxi now, I will hit the tail of the DHL 757, the EC814.
So that's how you do fixed rings. Anything that's in the database, anything in the route.
Roger, EC814.
So quite useful, although you do have to have, I think, the terrain radar plug-in.
Good evening, you can create uniform kilo stand 106, request push and start.
Anyway, let's get the AP off.
Kilo stand 106, position still approved.
106, push and start approved, you can create uniform kilo.
That's us done. So there you go. That was probably the best bit of your night, was learning how to do fixed rings, because I appreciate I do them quite quickly for the approach. And for the approach, we just get the runway, which will be listed in the legs page, RW, whatever runway it is, but you can do fixes around any point. So a bit of a useful tool. Anyway, a bit of a long flight, longer than hoped, but of course it was busy. Of course we took enough fuel, and here we are safely in Edinburgh.
Good evening, ground.
I will say thanks to ground in a moment.
Scandinavian 1875, set squawk 3454.
Oh god, there's still loads of aircraft inbound.
3454,
Literally loads.
Easy 814, I am able to resume taxi.
All the stands are full.
Delta 1, runway 24 via Alpha.
It's brilliant. There's 5 queuing for departure. Runway 7 Delta shutting down. Thanks for a great event. See you again soon. You don't care.
Approach 240, number 2, 1 to depart ahead.
Never mind. Anyway, thanks for you guys for watching. I hope there was a couple of useful nuggets in there, little gems like how to do terrain radar, etc. And a little bit of sketchy hand flying for the missed approach. The missed approach was very sketchy to start with. As you can see, distractions by ATC instructions delayed me getting the gear up, which was a bit messy. So goes the old adage, aviate, navigate, communicate. But I don't know what the next sector I'm going to fly is. It probably won't be from here because this won't be that busy, but we'll see what we do. As always, please like, please subscribe, and more importantly, please tell other people, see if you can get them coming along. And if you have any questions, feel free to send them to the channel or pop them on the videos, and I'll do my best to answer them. So thanks for watching, hope to see you again soon, stay safe, and until next time, a very good night.